Hello, good evening and welcome to RTD's English News. Tonight's top stories are: President Gales meeting with Adailu's elders. Health who worried Zika virus spreading on the Americas.
Those were the top stories. Thanks for joining us. Yesterday in Adailu, the atmosphere was welcoming and cheerful at the arrival of the president in order to inaugurate a solar central and a sport platform. The entire population of Tajura, mainly the sub-prefecture of Adailu, has been strongly mobilized to accommodate the head of state and his delegation and participate in this event intended to strengthen the socio-economic development in Adailu. Adailu, full of streets and fresh climate, will not be electrified thanks to the construction of the solar central initiated by the president in the framework of the project of Solar Village that has for objective to give light at 20 villages in Djibouti. The sports platform inaugurated yesterday in Adailu is part of a fortnight of structure that the government implemented in order to reach all the rural communities. The population of Adailu has expressed their joy for the arrival of the president, who has fulfilled its promises of a better development made during its visit in 2002. Between these two infrastructures, several projects axis on the strengthening of administrative capacity, the improvement of education structure, the train, the activities of climate adaptation and plan. We are underway at Adailu.
Moi, je suis du village, je suis un jeune médecin qui vient de...
On the sidelines of the Seoul Central opening ceremony in Adailu village, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has met with the village elders. The head of state has listened to the concerns of the wise men of the village, and then they have expressed their support in the next presidential elections in April 2016. And at the end of this meeting, the wise men of the village have implored God for that peace and stability prevail in the country.
We have a news release, the work of conciliation meeting at the level of the Arab Forum Affairs Ministers have been completed yesterday evening in Dubai. This meeting was held at the initiative of the United Arab Emirates President in office of the League of the Arab State Council. The purpose of the meeting was to examine the challenges that the Arab region faces, the scourge of terrorism, and the revitalization of Arab League mechanisms. During this important meeting, Djibouti has been represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, along with Musa Ahmed Hassan, Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti in Egypt and Permanent Representative to the Arab State League. Usman Musadrar, Ambassador of Djibouti to Dubai, and Mr. Mohammed Douali Waliye, Director of the Arabic Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This meeting coincided with the normalization of relations between the United Arab Emirates and the Republic of Djibouti, two brother countries with a common destiny.
Other subjects in our news, the Secretary of State for the National Solidarity has officially launched last Sunday at Ondodo Obok the recording activity of the National Program of Family Solidarity. Around 140 beneficiaries have been identified in this region in the north of the country. The objective of this program is to reach the maximum number of people in need. This program also aims to encourage other departments, such as the Department of Health or even the one of Education, in the pursuit of this noble initiative so that it has a greater impact within the civil society. In her speech, the Secretary of State for the National Solidarity has expressed very pleased and happy to take part in the recording of family social program that the President of the Republic officially started in the Merjouk. Within the framework of this program, 140 beneficiaries have already been identified for this town, she said. From today until tomorrow, the recording will continue, and we hope very quickly at the next week to begin the cash transferring for each beneficiary family, she said. The awareness program has been also started, she has indicated, and the local authorities are present to ensure that the program runs properly, she has concluded.
The Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to Sudan, His Excellency Ahmed Ali Barre, has been received this morning by His Excellency Mr. Ibrahim Gandour, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Sudan. The interview took place in a climate of trust. It was focused on important topics such as bilateral relations between the two brothers countries and the next opening of the Sudan Djibouti Hospital donated by His Excellency Mr. Umar Hassan al-Bashir for the Djibouti people. Seizing this opportunity, the ambassador thanked over a letter of invitation of His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, to his counterpart, His Excellency Mr. Umar Hassan al-Bashir, President of the Republic of Sudan, to take part in the inauguration of the hospital scheduled for Thursday, 11 February for his part. Mr. Khantour appreciated the excellent relations between the two countries. Finally, the minister wished success to the high guests in his functions and his noble mission to the Republic of Sudan.
A training workshop on the detectation of hearing problems among children opened yesterday in the meeting room of the General Hospital of Beltier. This training, organized jointly by the MENFOP and the Ministry of Health, has seen the participation of the school's directors. It aims to equip the heads of primary schools in order to quickly identify the hearing disability of the students in the schools. Moderated by Dr. Saad Abdullahi Awale, head of ENT department at the Hospital Pelletier, and his team have come up along with other participants to how quickly diagnose a student who presents a hearing impairment in class, and the procedure to follow for a treatment for this issue by the specialists of the health. This training will reach all the heads of institutions in part of the campaign against hearing disabilities conducted in a sectoral manner in our country. It aims to give an answer and give assistance to young people and to enable them to serenely continue their education.
We have an obituary now. It was a great emotion and sadness that we learned today. The death occurred Thursday in Djibouti of the late Abdurrahman Hassan Al-Rajis, member of the former board, also musician. He was born in 1969 in Djibouti. The late Abdurrahman Hassan Al-Rajis has left behind him a wife and 3 children. The Djiboutian artist is present their heartfelt condolence in painful times and requests the Almighty to welcome them in His eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Now the news outside the country. The top court in Central African Republic has cancelled last December's election over what it says were irregularities. More details in this report.
The top court in Central African Republic has cancelled last December elections over what it says were irregularities. Fresh elections should be held within 16 days of the last one, according to law, but analysts say that is unlikely to happen in a country with limited infrastructure. However, the Constitutional Court has confirmed who will contest the presidency in a long-awaited runoff later this month. 2 former prime ministers will compete in the runoff. The results certified on Monday gave the leading candidate, Anissa George Dologale, nearly 24% of the vote. The runoff was initially scheduled for January 31st. However, wins the election will take over from a transitional government that came to power in 2014 when a rebel leader stepped aside less than a year after his force overthrew the government. Sectarian violence between Christians and Muslims in the past several years has caused nearly 1 million people to flee their homes.
The 2018 Terror Minister raised the possibility to extend for 2 years the controls at the internal borders of the Schengen area. Let's listen to this comment.
The 2018 Interior Ministers raised the possibility to extend for 2 years the controls in the internal borders of Schengen area. This option exists in the area of free movement in Europe. This procedure is, however, long to implement and sensitive from a political point of view. But the Dutch State Secretary for Justice and Security recalled the scale of the migration crisis. He said the unprecedented influx of asylum seekers, which prompted member states to take these measures, has not diminished. During this informal meeting, the ministers also asked Athens to better control its border with Turkey. Austria had even threatened to temporarily exclude Greece from the Schengen area. The Greek Minister for Migration rejects all accusations of inaction or delay against Greece. Lanis Mouzelas also asked its European partners to provide the aid promised in Athens to meet its obligations. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned about the spreading of Zika virus to almost every country in the Americas. More explanations with this report. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned the mosquitoes-borne Zika virus could spread to almost every country in the Americas. It has been suggested that Zika, for which there is no vaccine or cure, could be linked to an increase in babies born with the rare neurological condition microcephaly, which leaves their brains underdeveloped. WHO Director General Margaret Chan said, although a causal link between Zika infection in pregnancy and microcephaly has not, and I must emphasize, has not been established, the circumstantial evidence is suggestive and extremely worrisome. An increase in occurrence of neurological symptoms noted in some countries coincided with arrival of the virus adds to the concern, Chan continued. Brazil's health ministry, which is convinced of a link, said last week that 3,893 cases of suspected microcephaly had been reported in the country since the start of October. The WHO said in a statement that Aedes mosquitoes, which transmit Zika, are present in all countries in the America except Canada and Chile.
This is it. Thank you for your attention and have a great evening.